come on. Ooh, come on. Come on. There we go. That's a smart training choice. Fucking send it. Let's go. YouTube, what is up? We are back with another upper body day. Just finished up with the 4th of July tournament. Our men's game got rained out. Unfortunately, we were on the path to go make a comeback. We had lost one game, but we were in the chair game. We're ready, not chair game, third place game, winning the third place game to go make it to the championship. Lightning was happening and they canceled the whole tournament, so never got to finish that. But won the co-ed tournament. Men's, my swing was a little bit sloppy. There were shorter fields. And I just wasn't trusting the hands enough. I was hitting too many home runs and just not trusting the hands. Co-ed started to trust the hands a little bit more and just swinging hard, trusting my cut swing, and was able to keep it in a little bit better. But we got a little church tournament this weekend and a wedding this weekend, but the weekend after we'll have our first real full tourney again, and looking forward to having a little bit of a comeback. Averages were good. I think I got, what was it? I batted 700 men's. I don't know the exact number, and then went 17 for 21 in the co-ed. So pretty solid tournament. It's just more so the control of the swing is what I was looking for this weekend, and it just wasn't totally clicking. You know, like when you're really trying to perfect something. It's just kind of cool though, because last year at this tournament, it's like it was night and day difference from my capabilities last year. So it's cool to see like going to the same tournament as the same person, batting way higher, just being a way more productive member of your team. Had some really cool diving catches in the outfield. The outfield thing is kind of a cool experience. I think there's a lot to be said about the stories you tell yourself as an athlete. I told myself this whole offseason that I'm going to be an outfielder this year, a better defensive player. I'm going to make an impact on the defense, and worked on the defense for sure. I was working on the defense, but not at a crazy level, not like my swing, nothing like that, but has been night and day difference in my defensive capabilities. And I think it was just been all offseason of telling myself I'm a defender now, whereas before I was a little bit nervous just because I never played baseball. A lot of my fundamentals are shit, still are. But just told myself over and over again, I'm going to be a defender, I'm going to do this, set that goal, and kind of just told myself that story over and over again and get into the outfield, make a couple plays, kind of prove that story to yourself over and over again. And it's cool to see those things come to fruition. It's like plays I would have never made before starting to be made, and not a ton of difference in the training. Again, there's a little bit of difference, there's a little bit more experience, but it wasn't like my swing where I spent all off season on it every single day. It was literally just a story switch and a thing that you tell yourself differently. So if you're an athlete, I think, and this one of the main reasons we do a lot of our gamification stuff here is like getting your athletes to tell themselves a different story about themselves. The number one KPI you can look for, the number one thing you can contribute as a coach is just get athletes to tell different stories about themselves and get them to tell the stories that they're a winner, that they're a scorer, that they're a defender, whatever it is. And once they start telling themselves these stories, you'll be amazed at how many times they prove that story right. And again, a lot of time, can't just tell the story, right? But most athletes that already like have that story told, like, I don't know, it's like they kind of already have it. Like they have that story told because they're already doing the things. I just see a lot of athletes that they do put in the work and they grind and they do all these things, but they've told themselves a story of, I'm not this person, I'm not the dude, I'm not the clutch guy. And I think the more we can expose and get those athletes to change that story, and I think this is one of the main reasons for living and breathing it as a coach, is you get to realize the power of those stories. Nothing in my training really changed, nothing like that. It was literally just a story and a switch that I flipped, and something that's been really cool. And I'm going to continue to hopefully flip these switches in my brain and flip those stories and hopefully help my athletes do the same thing, right? But I think that's a really cool, like, real life experience of the power of training and the power of what the things you tell yourself and the player that you say you are. I think it's super powerful, and something that I'm actively working on with myself, but obviously actively working on with my athletes. And I think having these games and an environment in which you can get those athletes to flip that switch is super powerful. So not sure how we really got on that rant, but we're gonna hit an upper body lift today, do a lot of spine type stuff, and kind of rip from there. Let's rip it. All right, we got 8 rep max on the Camber bar today. One of the things that, dude, I was struggling all day. I was supposed to make a post today. I've just been kind of off on my posting game. And dude, I was walking around. I just had no ideas popping up in my brain, like what I'm going to do. And sometimes I get stuck in those loops of like almost trying to force the content, trying to like force ideas in my head. And I was just walking, couldn't do it. Sometimes walking like brings up those ideas and just couldn't do it. I get to training. we're like 3 sets deep here, and start moving, and I came up with 3 post ideas like in the moment, just like moving around, doing these exercises, thinking of this. And that's something to be said for like content ideas. If you are stuck, if you're kind of in a rabbit hole, the more you try to force it, the more you're going to get yourself stuck in that rabbit hole, right? So just go and like live life and create content off of it. I know I tell my consulting people that all the time, and I just got to reiterate it myself. It's like when those ideas aren't coming, a lot of times it's like you just need to go live life and just go record life, and the ideas will pop up there organically. So one of the ideas that I'm working on, not ideas that I'm working on, but it just popped up. I'm like, oh, I can do a simple, really easy post on this. It's like one of the biggest game changers for athletes and trainers and people that just want to feel better and perform better is perform your same movements with slight variations, right? So this cambered bar bench right here, like it's the same as a bench press, but I know a lot of athletes that have pain bench pressing. You put a different bar in their hands and they can suddenly bench press pain-free, right? And it's, or if they have pain after bench pressing, now they don't have pain after bench pressing with a different bar, or long term we can get them out of shoulder pain where we can get them back to bench pressing. The goal isn't to just avoid the movement overall, it's to give them a little bit of a tiny variation, a little bit of a tweak on that movement, still let them do the kind of horizontal pressing pattern, the vertical pressing pattern, the vertical pulling pattern, whatever it is that causes them pain. Squatting is another big one. If you put a different bar in the back, a lot of times it just changes the movement just a tiny bit for them either to get out of their own heads to where like a squat with a barbell is associated with pain, but a squat with a cambered bar is not yet, right? So then they can squat. Again, a lot of it's a story you tell yourself. If you look at the study of pain and the science of pain, switches the movement. So it could be the slight tweak of the movement and you're working the muscles in just a different way. You're changing the movement pattern in just a tiny bit. Or it could just be the brain doesn't process that pattern as being a painful event anymore because it's not something they've associated with before, right? They haven't done a squat with a different bar. So they're thinking about how much fun it is to do the bar or just like keeping the bar in the back because it's something new. And now they don't have that story that they've told themselves over and over again, right? So I think it's one of the really cool things. Chad Chili just had a really cool post on pain. And I think he was sharing a story, but it was basically talking about phantom pain. And a lot of pain can be just a story you've told yourself and your body will lock up and cause pain in these stories, regardless if the pain or the muscle damage is actually there or not, right? So the study pain is crazy. But anyways, regardless if you're getting into the science or not, slight variations on movements can be a game changer for athletes that are in pain. And also a game changer for increasing performance, right? You're working the muscles in a different way, which a lot of times can expose really, really weak and soft points in that athlete. You build up those weak and soft points, you bring them from shit to suck in some categories, and then they can go back to the regular movement and PR by a bunch because they actually work on their weakness rather than continuing to work on their strength, right? So we're gonna work on an 8 rep max here on the cambered bar. We're yapping a little bit too much today. A little bit too much nicotine and ghost citrus in our bodies today, but feeling good. Let's rip it. Set number 2 here. This is week 2 of our 8 rep max kind of cycle. Again, we always keep like our rep maxes on for 2 weeks. First week is kind of just getting used to the rep maxes. Second week, we're going to push those rep maxes. So second week at 8 rep maxes. Next week, I think we go to 3 rep. I would have to look. Maybe it's a 6, maybe it's a 3. We went 5, 8. I think we went 3, 5, 8, and then the next one, I got to look at what the next one is, but kind of just cycle back and forth those rep maxes. So 8 rep max this week. Keep ripping. Let's go. Just keeping the feet up. So when it gets super heavy, I can feel like it's a superpower when I put my feet back on the ground. A little head case here. Let's get it. Come on. Yeah, cambered bar will freaking body you, dude. I'm gonna show you the accessories, last set of the accessories with this, and then keep ripping 8 rep maxes so we can. Probably got 2 more sets, 1 or 2 more sets in us. Let's go. So one of the things that I'm gonna focus on a little bit more too is short form content. I really like what Angus is doing with the short form content, where he's keeping his short form content very short and kind of finding the balance again there. Again, I feel like I'm a little trapped in the long form content game, which is good. I've been thoroughly enjoying the long form content game and trying to grow that side of things. but I feel like I've really let the short form content go just a little bit. I need to find a little bit more balance there. So I got another tripod over here and we're going super extra. We got the angle here with the camera, shooting the camera, and we got the iPhone shooting this way. So I really hate myself right now because we're full on influencer. But we got the tidal wave twist here. This one is absolute money. I really have enjoyed this one. This tidal wave is probably just a little bit too heavy to go as fast as I would like. We got side to side twist here, 10 total reps as fast as possible. Coming here. Ooh, woo. That one lights up the obliques like nothing else, dude. You want a back that is able to hit absolute nukes? Train a back that can handle that. Let's go. Dang, those are spicy. I like those. All right, with these, we got our spinal jump ropes. I know I've shown these before on the YouTube, but they're absolute money. I really enjoy these. We had an athlete this morning, first time with us, he was doing these, could not segment his spine at all. And I was like, dude, like, we got to get our spine to move. Like, you're pretty freaking stiff there. He's like, yeah, dude, I always have like back issues and lower back problems. So it's kind of a cool like diagnostic tool. A lot of these spinal movements, just to see how athletes that are able to segment their spine and athletes that aren't. And many times athletes that are not able to segment their spine have a lot of pain associated with spinal type movements, whether that is psychological or physiological. Either way, trying to get them, one, psychologically over the fact that they can move their spine, and then two, physiologically getting them capable of moving the spine. You can do these things kind of together in a super regressed way, but trying to find as much lateral movement as you can there. Then we come back down and find as much lateral movement as we can this way. And we're just moving. Again, this is one of our most basic spinal exercises we got, but it feels really good. I like implementing this one early on in the week. Just get the athletes moving, feeling good. Don't want to beat up too much on a Monday. Just get them back on the weekend. There we go. All right, we'll hit some plyo push-ups and go from here. We just got some plyo drops. Keeping it nice and basic, 5 of them. Good, again. Get in the hands, wrists, again, exposed to the force of a punch, falling on the ground, punching like that. Also getting the chest and shoulders exposed to rapidly dropping into a position, rapidly getting stuck in a position, rapidly getting caught. I think it's absolute money for preparing the athletes for the demand of the sport. Again, I think the upper body is one of the most missed pieces to the training that we do, especially in the velocity side of things. And I think it makes sense when you see a lot of football guys with a lot of shoulder injuries. They get stuck, again, in these super elongated positions at a super high velocity, high force type movement where they're like trying to tackle it super very quick. They kind of hold out there. A lot of times when people are pass rushing, they'll get stuck in those movements. And a lot of times you look at the program, nothing prepared them. Not saying that the preparation is going to prevent at all, but just prepare them for that, give them a little taste of that so we can put them in the best and most optimal positions when they find themselves in there inevitably on the field of play, rather than just pretending like it's never gonna happen. So these are money, really like these. Let's get back to benching. Number 3 here, putting the feet down, using the Crocs, activate cheat mode. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Ooh. There we go. All right. We'll call that as the last set, just to keep it conservative so we don't body ourselves on a Monday and get to the accessories. We got 30 minutes before we got to go anyways. In my head, on set like 6, I was like, oh, we could do another set after this, but I'm going to make a smart training choice and not body myself today. Let's go. So yeah. Freaking psych, dude. Even the words smart training choice leaving my mouth just felt gross. I've never made a smart training choice in my life. What am I talking about? One more set, we're gonna rip, we're not gonna be soft. That was, oh man, that was gross. Smart training choice. Sound like a functional trainer. Let's get this. 8 reps, man the fuck up. Here we go. Smart training choice, fucking pussy. Oof, come on. Oof. come on, hold on. There we go. That's a smart training choice. Fucking send it. Let's go. This is the most devilish exercise I may have, I mean, I don't know about invented, but most devilish exercise I've ever thought of and programmed here. Pike push-up fingertip top, right? So the push-up walk-up, fingertip walk-ups we did last week, but now we got pike push-up. Basically a variation of the handstand fingertip pull-up that they, or push-up that they do, but we're coming up here. If you are not experienced in going into the fingertips, I would not suggest this one right away. I would do push-ups right away. But even variations here. You can go single arm, come here, come back down, come here. The true challenging version is piking up, fingertip, fingertip, coming down, fingertip, fingertip, coming down, and we're ripping from there. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Bailed on that one. Absolute spice. Third set of those. Ripper. I think it's a moneymaker. Build up those hands. Just give your stimulus to the fingers just a little bit, right? I don't think fingers need to turn into tibialises, but I think there's some benefit to having some strong hands and strong fingers, especially if you play a contact sport. And I think I really like Rafe Kelly's belief in having strong hands in a multitude of ways. Strong fingers really increases and helps the upper body in a lot of ways. And if that weak link is there at the very end of the force producing chain, I think you can develop some issues there. And obviously there's a ton of different ways to do it. You don't need to work on a bunch of finger grip all the time. I just think it's something cool that you can do, and a fun thing to work on sometimes. And it's cool to feel your hands absolutely get wrecked like that and just expose how weak you actually are in some movements. So we had 3 sets of 10 there. And now we got band pull apart isos left. We got some arms left and some back left. And then we're out of here. Let's get it. Then we got the DeFranco James Diesel back attack #1, the specialty. 30-second hold row. I'm not going to talk until I bit this up. 30-second row hold for 30 seconds. Then we got 8 reps after. Then we got 15 posterior flies with it. It's a spicy one. It's a brutal one. It's a classic. If you haven't tried this one before, you need to. Let's get it. I used to rip this all the time in high school. This was a moneymaker. I guess college. I didn't find DeFranco till college, but whenever I came back from college for the summer, we'd rip this in the high school weight room. In my full DeFranco days, it was money. Oh my God. Holy shit, third set of those is freaking me up. Oh my goodness. That 15 flies right into it. Wow, those are some sloppy reps. Let's get it. Oh, oh my God, back is on fire. Man, those are brutal. Upper back traps are on fire. DeFranco and James Smitty were one of the first people that I've ever heard talk about how to challenge the body in a different way other than just continually overloading weight. And talking about a lot of their athletes with like shoulder pain when they're rowing super heavy, and they were finding ways to stimulate that back, get a pump into the back, get some stimulus into the neck and trap area, especially for the contact sport athletes, without just adding more weight, right? Will Rattel talks about it a lot right now. Like, how do you challenge it once you reach a certain point so you're not just like digging more and more of a hole? Obviously there's time and place to add weight, but introducing those isos and then higher rep schemes right away after, absolute moneymaker. It's kind of cool to see. Like, I didn't even know. I remember them talking about it back in the day, but never really clicked. And I'm like, oh, I see exactly where they're coming from. It's kind of cool. Go full circle with some of those ideas. So hip bend pull apart isos. We got some core stuff left, and we'll go from there. Let's go. Woo! Spicy. We got some single arm curls here. Absolutely spicy. We put a little fat grip on here. Just ripping. 8 of them. This one's tough. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. Woo, I should have recorded the first set there. That arm was fresh. Oh my God, those are spicy. Let's finish up strong here. Let's go. Woo. Let's go. Those are fucking spicy, feeling good. Here we go. Then a little spicy superset, giant set here. I'm gonna lower this camera just a little bit. I think giving athletes with then do arms a number of sets to hit or number of reps to hit and just let them hit it in as many sets as they want is a nice cool way to just give them some autonomy when it comes to arms and something that's not really as important. They feel like they can control it a little bit more. So we had 50 total reps here with these skull crushers here, however they wanted to get it done. So some athletes were doing like one set of 50, just ripping all the way through. Had some athletes do 2 sets of 25. Had a lot of athletes do 5 sets of 10. That's what I'm personally doing. But I think it's a cool way, just a tiny bit of autonomy sprinkled in there. Let them get their burn however they want to get their burn in. Another way to do it is just give them like, say 5 minutes on the clock, hit as many triceps as you want. But it's kind of a cool way. And I get a lot of coaches like, how do you get athletes to like, get some autonomy in their program without like, they're not ready to like give up their whole program and doing the jumps or the important stuff with the squats, like they're not ready to go there yet. Start here, see some of the cool things that your athletes come up with, some of the cool set and rep schemes that they come up with, some of the cool ways that they do it. Well, I'm actually stealing the one that our athletes did this morning where it's 5 sets of 10, every 10 reps, every set, they just added 5 pounds and they kind of just ripped it through. It's a cool way to come up with something there, right? So I think it's kind of cool. Just utilize your athletes for their creativity and their brains and let them have some autonomy in their program, and they're still just getting some rippers in with this arm workout. So this is set 3 number 3 here. I'm 5 pounds heavier. Boom. One more set there. Oh, 3 more. Holy shit. Oh, come on, 3 more. Whoa. That's fucking spicy. We got a little step up thing and then a band pull apart iso, then we're outie. Let's go. All right, then we got this little kick up variation. I really like this one. It's a great intro to spinal flexion, very minimal. I mean, it's not a total flexion, but great intro into that flexion. A lot of squatting athletes like myself really struggle with that hip flexor strength, so it's bigger, squattier athletes trying to get that leg up. But all we're doing is basically marching here. Same arm, same foot, just toe touching, right? So I'm touching my toe with my hand, coming here, trying not to swing all the way up, but just more of a march. Keep a good tempo here. Hip flexors get on fire. For athletes that struggle in that flex position at all, especially when they're coming up here, a lot of athletes really struggle in that position. It's a great way to like start them into this position, but really focus on kind of that core, lower abdominals and abdominals. Can't speak today. And then hip flexors here. So we got 25 left. We have 50 total. High reps here when we do these. There, you need a little hamstring stretch too if you're really immobile like myself. Rotating through. Oh, yeah, that one is spicy. 3rd set of those hip flexors on fire. Band pull apart iso, then round ski. Let's go. Then we got probably one of the most underutilized isos. I never hear people talk about this one. Just the band pull apart iso, man. It gets the back absolutely freaking firing and cooking. Gets a good little posture here, pulling apart. We're holding for 5 minutes. There's nothing that will spice you up more than this one, I promise you. We're gonna enter the pain cave here and shut up. Let's get it. Goal is to stay nice and tall here, not round forward, not bring that band all the way back, bring the chest to the band, but bring the band to the chest and hold it in this position here. Start with a lighter band than you think. You don't need to go super heavy here. 5 minutes of anything. 5 minutes just holding your hands here will mess you up. I remember in grade school, we used to do a dictionary challenge, where it's like you hold a dictionary up. I can't remember how long they'd make you do it. It was a like physics test, and it was freaking brutal, dude. But it's kind of like that. I'm paying dearly for that back attack ISO. My back is on fire. Oh my God, I'm getting bodied like a little bitch right now. Whew. So this is an ISO that when you get to a point where you can't hold it longer than like, let's say 30 seconds, it depends on the ISO, but let's say you can't hold it for longer than 30 seconds at a time, we'll just do running clock, right? So it's just a running clock and you just hit as much time of the 5 minutes as possible while you're doing it. If you're still able to hit like minute holds during this or like 45-second holds, then we do stop clock. So we'd stop the clock every time you have to take a break. But as it gets down to like you really can't hold it that much longer, a little bit longer breaks, running clock, hit as much time as possible. That's the first progression of an ISO. The second progression of the ISO is stop clock. The third progression is just hitting that time straight. That's our ideal goal. That's how we progress these things. After that back attack, dude, we are at stage 1 of this ISO. This is a nice one to hit before bench. Get that back activated, get that back rolling, get a little blood flow, kind of like that Wenning warm-up style. I know he does like really high rep band pull parts before he goes. It's like 4 sets, 25 face pulls and stuff. ISO can be a really nice one for that too. I think a lot of athletes feel the exercise a little bit better rather than just ripping through it at like super high speeds. Oh, we're getting messed up right now. Here we go. Whew, finish strong. Whew. That is a freaking day. I gotta go sauna. Not a long goodbye message today, other than we got after it today. I felt like I yapped a little bit too much, but good content day. Good content day, right? The video might be a little bit longer, but we needed it. We need to talk a little bit. The last couple of videos I haven't talked as much, right? So appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Keep chopping wood. Let's get it.